All opinions are those of the participants making them and are not an endorsement of any position, program, religion, or political affiliation. DFG's Corner is for information, observations, and entertainment. I ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Was this person, did this person work in Signal Towers when we were there?
Yes.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't know they got out.
They're all out. All of them are out.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you said too many stuff. I said I know who you're talking. I just had to make sure. And,
Right.
and like you said, he's a nice dude. I was good. I was good with him.
Right.
I was good with him. I was just like I was surprised when he got hemmed up, but
Right.
for him to be who he is and be a guy that follows the president, that's
Right.
it's disappointing in my opinion.
Yes. Yes.
It's disappointing, especially I guess they got what they got, and I hate to
Yeah.
say that. They
Yeah.
served their time. Let them be that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I got you out. No, it's a whew. That's a deep one.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely a deep one. But like I said, I didn't know they had gotten out because I hadn't seen nor heard of them since their case got adjudicated in 17, 18.
Yeah. Well, they were all of them were able to get early release based upon their ages, since they were all over 60 years old.
Okay.
So they are, and I never knew that about a federal conviction. If you got 5 years, you served every day of that five
Right.
years in a federal
Right.
conviction. But they were able to plea bargain or to work some deal where they only served of the 5 years that each were given, 2.5.
Right. And you know what though? And it goes back to like I said, it's not only romantic but family because I'll tell the crowd if y'all met the person that Big Al's talking about, y'all would not think that he would do stuff like that. Not the way he carried himself, not the way he was around, not in the conversations you had. So yeah, you could be tricked. You could be tricked, but sometimes it's just you try to have discernment, be friendly to folks, but you ain't got to be their friends.
Yeah, that's like what I said earlier that, you have the honeymoon uh portion, and then when the honeymoon's over, then you start seeing the true person. Y'all got to know that person as a nice guy, and you wouldn't have never thought that the true person would come out and do what they did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that but a little bit more context to his story. Um, he in the army, if you stay at one place too long, they call it homesteading. He was a homesteader. So when you homestead like that, when you stay in one place, especially in the military, you get to know your way around things and you get to learn how things work. And when you get to learn how things work, you figure that you might be able to get away with a thing or two. Probably got away with it a little bit and it got a little bit more, because one day, and this is how it was. One day he was in his office. Next day he was gone. It wasn't even. And then you hear the news reports. It was like it was that fast. So yeah, yeah, it's hard when you're dealing with folks like that, but it's just that you got to be careful and guard yourself because a lot of fallout just be associated with people who do stuff like that can have you hemmed up. Miss Some, you've done army stuff. Um, have you ever met people or a military spouse who you got a good vibe or a bad vibe from?
I plead the fifth.
Oh no,
No, I'm
no,
just
this ain't
kidding.
the
I'm just
court.
kidding.
This ain't a court. I want a
I'm just
story. Give me a
kidding.
story.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think with life in general, I've had a couple of friends. I've gotten burnt a couple of times because I am an open person. I love people, and I tend to um, look past a lot of things. My mentality is like, that's them. It's not me. That's their vibe. That's what they do, and so I've been burnt several times. But I think, just in listening to the video that you had playing earlier, it's a lot of things that I got from that. I'm just going to go off of my personal experience. Um, I remember when new people would come to the job, and they would ask certain questions like, how is it working here and things of that nature. And I remember specifically telling people, you're going to see certain people. They will reveal themselves to you. And after they reveal themselves to you, it's going to be up to you whether you decide to pursue a certain type of relationship or carry on, you know what I mean, and go from there. Now I will say, and please, Kim, forgive me because I'm going to use you as an example. I remember when I first met Kim, and Kim reminded me of my aunt. So right away, I was just blown away the first time I ever saw Kim. But through the time that I've gotten to know Kim, she is just one of the sweetest, loving people that I have ever met. Um,
Oh, thank
she
you.
she makes you, she's one of the people that it and Kim, you're a grown woman. You stand up for yourself. You have the intuition of, I can't even describe it because you're spot on when it comes to people. But she's one of the people that you just love so much, you want to protect. Like, you don't want anybody to, not that anything has ever happened or anything like that, but you just want to protect her because you just love her so much. She's such a sweetie pie. So, but I say all that to say that relationships are earned. They come over time. With anyone, I really tend to take my time because I've gotten burnt in the past. But I do know that um, with Kim, I know that as a woman, I can come to her with things that, especially as a Black woman, things, obstacles, and challenges in my life that I might face. And I know that I can go to her, and I know that information is safe. I know we God comes before everything, and she reassures that. And so I think with the video, that kind of went into, um, as far as like matching energy, being able to express how you feel, being able to know that it is a safe space. And so over time, getting to know Kim, I know that, you know, what I go to her with, I know it's safe. And I'm hoping that, over time she knows that that's the same with me. But I think, life is hard. I'm a cancer survivor. I don't know if anybody has known that, but life is hard. And when you can find someone to just help you get through the days without judging, that is very uplifting. You just want to hold on to them, and you just want to keep them close. So I say all of that to say that it's hard out here, and relationships are earned. They are earned, and it takes time. But I had to learn that over the years. I was very naive. I thought everybody was good and kind and, yada, yada, yada. But I have gotten burnt several times. So sorry, Kim.
No, thank you, Summer.
Hey, getting burnt is yeah, I understand what you're saying. I definitely understand what you're saying. So that's what with everything people are talking about and how we're covering this subject, we have to look at it as are we protecting ourselves when we're dealing with folks? Because somebody doesn't have to say anything to you and you can still get a bad vibe about them. Somebody can come near you and your mood changes and they just suck the energy out of you. And there's some people that when you feeling real down and you're like ready to give up, they just come with a encouraging word, and they make themselves available to you. And sometimes that happens, but we got to understand that we're going with the whole thing is that you got to protect your aura, your spirit, your ability to be a good person, because there are people out there that may be a wolf in sheep's clothing, and there may be out there they may sound good and they have those words for those itching ears, but they're not they're not good for you. They might be good to you, but they're definitely not good for you. Whether that's family members, whether that's friends, whether that's acquaintances, whether that's um romantic interest, sometimes even your children. Even your children can get a bad vibe from somebody and try to bring it to you. And then I know, at least I know one of my siblings, if a person comes with an attitude, or as she used to say, an attitude, um, she's got the neck to correct, and she put them in check. But it's funny, it's funny because if y'all had grown up with us, y'all have said those people are all so friendly, but we did keep our distance from certain people, and there were certain vibes that we kind of had you know, our mother instilled in us to be friendly, but you don't necessarily got to be everybody's friend. And like Apple said, cordial, keep things cordial, because don't be the one that if it's three of y'all, the one out of three is a troublemaker. Don't be the third person. Be one of the first two. But I just want to thank everybody, especially in TikTok land. This is my third straight week of rebroadcasting on TikTok. I'm also on Facebook, IG Live, YouTube Live. If y'all want to come on the Zoom, let me know, and we'll get you on. Just be respectful. Do not act the fool, because I will kick you off and I'll block you. And my block game is good. They used to call me David Robinson back in the day because I'd be blocking everything. Um, but Apple, you know. You remember how when you were younger, and I would tease you about you hanging out with the Spanish chicks, the Spanish girls.
Absolutely.
You know, I knew they took good care of you, but I was just trying to I was just being a big brother and being a pest. I mean, you know, um, the family lived across the hall from us. It said it's like you knew everybody. You knew everybody. Chocolate Pearl thought I knew everybody, but the thing was everybody seemed to know
I
me.
still say that you know everybody to this day.